Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 122-119. And boy, did we almost choke that basketball game away. We allowed the worst team in the Western Conference to have 45 points in the fourth quarter. Wembanyama was down by like 8 points with like a minute to go, and we allowed him to get 2 threes off, missed all kinds of free throws, turned the ball over. Epic choke job. And I get it. We walked away with the victory. But if you ask me, it don't feel like it. It don't feel like it. LeBron didn't play. Fine with that. AD had 37 points, double-digit rebounds, 4 steals. Happy with that. TP shot very well. He attempted 10 threes. I think he hit 4 of them. I'm not upset at that. He had a couple steals as well. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Very good TP game. Austin had 15 points, I think 9 assists, including a 3/4 court heave. Actually, not including because they did wave it off. But he hit that at the end of the third quarter. I actually didn't see that live, man. I saw the replay of it a million times, but I was skipped away at that moment. But I thought this game was in the bag. But something told me when I looked over with the 7-minute mark and we only had 2 timeouts that something was wrong. Something went terribly wrong. The fact that we only had 2 timeouts with 7 minutes to go in that game. And even though we were up double digits, I'm like, you know what? Something's wrong. I could feel it. It's like you're not supposed to have that few timeouts with that so much time left. Not that really played in too much to what ended up happening, but the vibe was off. You could just tell. And it was something else, as I told you at the halftime. Wembanyama was playing pretty poorly in the first quarter. Throughout the course of the first quarter, he looked bad. But Anthony Davis was trying to wake him up, and I was telling myself, there was a part of me saying, that's not a good idea. Because even though Wembanyama's on a bad team and they're trying to lose, he is exactly who people say he is. And if you're trying to wake him up, you better know what you're doing. It's that kind of thing. It's like he's chilling right now, and Anthony's trying to dunk on his head and bump him around and trying to wake him up. I'm like, nah, you let that sleeping giant slay, man. If he's content with losing his 18th straight game tonight, let him do it. You don't need to rile him up because you're on the floor, fam. He is really that good. And sure enough, man, this dude ranged off like 3 threes in the fourth quarter, 2 of them in the final minute. And I'm just sitting here like, why did you wake this guy up, fam? Why did you do that? That's what I was thinking of Anthony Davis. Why did you wake him up, bro? Get that young puppy thinking about winning basketball games, and he gonna actually get a chance to do that. And sure enough, he pulled a full Wembanyama on us in the fourth quarter. He was absolutely spectacular, man. I mean, the last minute of that game, it was all him. Luckily enough, he missed the last one. They called the foul on him. He kicked his leg out. I thought they may call it the other way, and he ended up sending him to the free throw line with a chance to tie the game up. So we were blessed with that. Luckily, Cam Reddish was able to fall on the ground in that situation and draw that foul. They tried to challenge it. It didn't work. But, Devin Vassell did not have a good shooting night, but Keldon Johnson very much did. I don't remember exactly what their stats was, but they had their help from the other guys, man. And so I'm happy we won this game. But, I mean, the choke was real, man. The choke job was absolutely real. The Lakers did everything they can to play down to the level of the opponent. I feel like if this was a game that we were playing against anybody else, we would have got smoked. The way we were giving up offensive rebounds, 10 to our 5. We only had 48 boards on the game. 16 turnovers to their 17. I mean, we're talking about the worst team in the Western Conference here. Second worst team in the whole damn league. On one of the longest losing streaks in the history of the sport. And we almost choked an 8-point lead away to them in the last 50 minutes of the game. Like, I'm telling you, this could have been one of the worst losses in Laker history. I kid you not. Man. So for me to sit up here and act like I'm proud of this team, I'd be dead at lying to you. This was some absolute garbage, and they had better be glad, very glad they're going up against a bad team, man. Because if anybody in this league would have played against us and we play like this, especially in that fourth quarter where you give up 45 points, 45 points to the worst team in the West, Lakers? Nah, man. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. Wins are exactly what we want. But there are certain things that you can do that lend itself to you understanding that you're not playing your best ball. Yesterday's game against the Dallas Mavericks, we know we didn't play good ball. We shot well, but our game plan was trash. Tonight, giving up an 8-point lead to the worst team in the Western Conference, when they have a chance to go on to break their 17-game losing streak against you, and the only player you're missing is LeBron James. Everybody else on the floor, Gabe Vincent, LeBron James, the only people ain't out there. I'm telling you, Darvin, this would have been one of them games. If you would have lost this game, we really would have been talking about how we need to replace you. I'm serious, brother. Some of that crap that was going on down there, totally unacceptable. And I get it. We just won the championship of the end-season tournament. But the level of drop-off to play this low to the level of the opponent to where you're down there with San Antonio and most of your team is healthy. Anthony Davis got 37 points, and you still letting this team get this bad right now? We're letting this team have this type of success again in the fourth quarter. 45 points in the fourth quarter, Darvin. Yo, man, I'm telling you, I ain't proud of this. I'm relieved we won, but it does not feel like we won. That's how this goes. I'm not one of those, phew, thank God we won type of fans. No, I'm like, what the hell kind of tendencies are we setting forward for the rest of this month? That's the type of fan I am. And if you've been following me for the last several years, you're not surprised to see me unhappy after a game like this. Because we've cussed this team out many times after wins when I know they didn't play well and it could lead to us losing another game. You know we got to play this same team again on Friday. You know that, right? Bron better suit up for that one. Because I'm telling you, Wembanyama got his confidence against this defense. And when nobody stopping him from shooting that three, including Anthony Davis. Nobody stopping that. So that's just something we need to understand. If he come out and score 7 out of 9 threes in the next game like Dante Exum, it won't surprise me because we let him get in his rhythm to close this game out. And he going to sleep tonight thinking, man, I could have won this. And you think he ain't going to come out and play his best game on Friday? I expect he will. So the Lakers, you know, they're a choke job, man. Absolute choke job. And you just so happen to win it. But that was a choke job, man. It was pathetic and abysmal. That's exactly how I felt about that basketball game. Worst win of the season by far, if there's a such thing. Worst win of the season. You cannot possibly allow that to happen. Even with Bron out there, not there, you cannot let the San Antonio Spurs 2023-2024 have a 45-point fourth quarter on your heads, man. There's no way you let that happen, yo. So that's where I'm at with that, man. That is exactly how I feel about that basketball game. I'll leave it to other Laker fans to pat them on the back and tell them how great they were. It ain't going to be me. It ain't going to be me. Not when I know what we just did there. Against whom? A young pup who's going to turn into likely an MVP many times over if things develop properly for him. And he's on the worst team possible right now. And you just let him get all kinds of confidence against purple and gold. You know that's going to resonate throughout the course of several games, not just this one. You're going to see him again on this game on Friday, and you're going to see him again in February. You think he ain't going to play his best ball? You're going to be thinking about this. This is not what you want a guy like that to be thinking about his first time out against your franchise. That's bad precedent. Bad precedent for a future dominant star. No. I know better, man. I've been watching this game my whole life. I know better. He going to be thinking like this for the next 5-6 years coming out against the Lakers. Like, yo, even when I was trash, I could get them in the fourth quarter. Even when I was a young pup and couldn't even hardly get myself together, I was able to score on them dudes. No. I know too much better, way too much better. So, yeah, that's what I got to say about that, man. Game ball, I give it to AD since we won. 37 points, 11 rebounds, 4 steals or 4 blocks. I don't remember which. We had a lot of players with a lot of steals. I think we had like 16 steals on the game or something. Stats ain't staying with me because I'm too busy looking at that 45 in the fourth. That's the only stat I'm really paying attention to. And them 10 offensive rebounds we gave up to our 5. Nah, man. Nah. None of that. 16 turnovers against the worst team. Didn't I tell y'all at the beginning? in my pregame video, don't turn the ball over against this team. And we proceeded to give them all kinds of turnovers, all kinds. Just way down to the level of the opponent. Absolute nonsense. Am I happy we won? I'd like my wins to feel like we won, man. I'd like my wins to feel like we didn't just lay the ball up for the other team to slam home. You know, give them a lob. That's what it feels like. We lobbed them a game. We're probably going to end up in overtime or something against San Antonio in the next one if Bron doesn't play. And, you know, I'm glad AD did come back from that rolled ankle, because if he didn't give us all 37 of them points, you saw how this would have played out. So this is like, nah, man. We won, but the way my brain works, you don't have no reason to be proud of this win, Lakers. No reason. Y'all might as well just go ahead and burn this tape as if you lost it. That's how I feel about this crap. You know, people have, what do they call it? Like, moral victories. This is an immoral victory to me. This is what that is. Immoral victory. This felt like a loss. You let a player like that get that type of momentum, ending the game when you got to see him the very next game, rather. No. Not to mention that AD played so many minutes on the second of a back-to-back with only 1 day's rest. No. All of that was bad. We should have blew that team out by 40. So that's my thought, man. That is my thought. I thought the game was fun at parts. I really enjoyed the pace of the game. Like I said, Keldon Johnson, Wembanyama in the fourth, those guys played very well. You know, Collins and those dudes step up. I thought Christian Wood was pretty nice tonight, like what I saw from him. I think everybody pretty much on both teams had games where you could say nobody played particularly poorly. But it was just the overall team effort in the fourth quarter, the overall just dumbing it down completely for a terrible team that just really set the tone for how I'm speaking right now. You can't come out like this, expect me to be proud. You can't come out like this, barely get a victory against a team that ain't won in over a month. They haven't won since November 2nd. It's December 13th, man. And we barely won this basketball game. I got a lot to say. But I think I'll leave it there, man. I don't want to give too much credence to this victory. This ain't no victory. I don't even want to call this a victory. This is a choke job that we happen not to die. That's what this was. This is God's honest truth how I see this. Barely survived against a horrible basketball team. So San Antonio sets the record for their worst losing streak in their sport, in their history rather. 18 is the worst they've ever had. Let's do everything we can to make sure 19 is what they get. And it's not even the worst in the league because Detroit got their 21st loss tonight in a row. And the NBA record is 28, man. So I got a feeling one of these teams is going to set it. I really do. I think one of these teams, if not both of them, are going to set it. But we got to do our part because this tonight was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. I hope the coach is laying into him. I hope LeBron's laying into him. Don't think for 1 second that you can play like this and then see the same team in the next game and they ain't going to have a supreme level of confidence against you. Then please don't think that. Because they will. So that's what I got to say, man. I'll give AD the game ball if he wants it. I would tell him to throw it back at somebody, honestly. Throw it at Wemby, man. Because honestly, the way he played in the fourth quarter just showed us exactly what he's going to turn into. And I'm telling you, Bron needs to play in that next one. I know it's the Spurs, but we're basically the Spurs when he ain't playing. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.